Welcome to JunoBee. My name's Becca and I'm an Aries Sun, Scorpio Rising, Gemini Moon. I asked you guys over on Instagram if you wanted an elements video or if you wanted to jump right in with fire, and you guys chose elements, which gave me a bit of an idea. These next few videos are all going to be building blocks on top of each other so that eventually we can learn how to read birth charts. So today we're working on the foundation of astrology, which is the elements. Then we'll go into signs, then we'll go into planets, then we'll go into houses, and then you will have the fundamentals of the birth chart. After we do all of that, we'll get into some more specific stuff later on. Don't worry, there's plenty of stuff to learn about astrology. And then one day, we'll all become astrologers, and we'll all be friends, and we'll all get each other's jokes. Which is the real reason why I started this channel. But today we're talking about fire, earth, air, and water in that order because that's the order that they're in the birth chart. It repeats this order of 4, 3 separate times to make 12 houses and 3 signs per element. Math! So the 4 different elements in the birth chart, fire, earth, air, and water, are how we relate to our life experience. With every element comes its own challenges, so we will be talking a little bit about the challenges per element. Some people might call them the detriment or the misplacement. I like the word challenges for elements because you can overcome them and learn how to use your dominant element. So if you already have your birth chart, take a look at how many planets are in which elements. The majority of the planets and the majority of the element is your dominant element. We're going to talk a little bit more about this when we do the inner planets versus the outer planets. So you got that to look forward to as well. For the most part, people divide the elements up into 2 groups. Fire and air is one, and then earth and water is in the other. Fire and air are the active and self-expressive elements, and then earth and water are the passive and self-contained elements. People also say that these 2 groups work well in romantic relationships because when you think about it, fire can't grow without air, and earth can't grow without water. And that's just a little basics of love astrology if you guys are feeling a little frisky today. So since air makes fire grow and water makes earth grow, what do you guys think about the different combinations of elements? So when I think of fire and water, I think of a boiling aspect, maybe a tendency to boil over or a tendency to burn out. When I think of fire and earth, I think of a forest fire. When I think of air and water, I think of a tsunami or big waves. And then when I think of air and earth, I think of dry, cracking, lifeless dirt. Now, that's not to say that any of these combinations of elements can't be maintained. My best friend Kayla is a Virgo, and we call ourselves a forest fire all the time because we're just raging around and being insane, and it's really fun. So now that we know a little bit more about the combinations of elements, let's talk a little bit more about fire. Fire signs are driven and enthusiastic. They tend to take chances and are very impulsive. So where you find fire in your chart is probably the areas of your life where you're a bit more impulsive and a bit more passionate about things. The challenge to fire is what they call destructive heat. It's when people can be a bit quick to anger and also a bit clumsy. Earth signs are inherently attuned with the physical world. They're practical and they're persistent, so where you find earth in your chart is probably where you're less likely to take chances because you want to be more careful and work a little bit harder to achieve your goals. The challenge for an earth sign is being materialistic and a bit stubborn. Air signs are the sensationalists of the zodiac. They spend a great amount of time thinking about abstract ideas. They're very perceptive and they're known as the gatherers of knowledge and information. So where you find air in your birth chart is probably the areas of your life that you want to know more about. The challenge for an air sign is getting lost in thought and losing touch with reality. Water signs are sensitive and empathetic and are known to be healers. They can also be equated with psychic ability as well, but where you find water in your birth chart is probably where you follow your intuition and also feel a bit more sensitively. The challenge for a water sign is being overprotective and being a bit too emotional for their own good. So that's pretty much it for the elemental videos. Thank you guys so much for suggesting that I do this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of when you think of different combinations of elements. If you guys liked, thank you for liking. If you subscribed, thank you for subscribing. And if you did neither, why? That's it for today's video. I post every Tuesday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! This is Puff. Cat cameo! Are you purring? Do you like being on camera? I'll remember that for the next video. But for this one, get out of here! Don't touch that tripod. Don't touch that tripod. Pop, 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 out! Everything's fine. You need to calm down. Do you hear me? I don't know what Puff's signs are. I think he's a Pisces. Are you a Pisces? Because I honestly don't know if you are or not. You tell me. You're definitely sensitive and empathetic. Well, he's definitely sensitive.